Hi, I'm Scott from Flow Coffee and we're going to be installing the Flow Gateway on the Rancilio Class 9. First thing we need to do is clear the top of the coffee machine and remove the top panels to expose the flow meters. Okay, so we've taken the top panels out of the machine, we've uncovered the flow meters. This is a 3-group machine. You can see the 3 flow meters, 1, 2 and 3. For that we're going to be using 2 cables, and so we have our cables here. We can see them labelled for group head 1 and group head 2, and then on a second cable we'll be using the set for group head 1. So the next step is to route those cables down through the machine, out the service hole at the bottom. Alright, so we're up to connecting the flow meters. We have our first cable. We have 2 sets of connectors on the first cable, marked with the 1 and the 2. So we're going to take our set labelled 1 and we're going to bring them over. Now we want to be careful to not disconnect all the connectors at once, so we make sure we get the right connectors back on the right terminals. So we have our white over here. Going to reintroduce the white from the flow cable and the red. And now what we have to do is remove the screw which is holding down the ground terminal. So you can see that we have the ground terminal under the ring terminal from the coffee machine. That screw is tightened down. We have the flow cable connected to the appropriate terminals. Now what we need to do is take the male end of the flow cable, also marked 1, and we're going to reconnect the terminals from the coffee machine, making sure that we maintain the correct connections. So we've got the red and the white being voltage and signal. And that's what we want the connection to look like there. So with group head 3, we're using the second flow cable. Now the flow can support up to 4 group heads with 2 cables. So the first 2 group heads are going to be on cable 1, the second 2 group heads are going to be on cable 2. That means for group head 3, we're going to use the ends marked 1 for the second cable. The ends marked 2 would be for the 4th group head. So we've connected the flow cable to the 3 flow meters in the coffee machine. The coffee machine's connectors we've connected back to the male terminals on the flow cable. The 4th group head connector on the flow cable, because it's being unused, we've connected the terminals back to themselves, maintaining white to white, red to red, and we'll cable tie those all nicely away to the coffee machine's chassis. At this point we've routed the cable through the machine, down through the counter, through the service hole, and we've brought both cables out, and at this point we're going to test our wiring. So what we do is we've switched the machine back on, we've plugged both cables into group head 1 and 2, 3 and 4 connectors, and we're going to run a purge on each group head. 1, set the corresponding light up on the flow gateway. 2, which is correct. And 3. So that each one of those lights are lit up in the correct order. If they didn't, we may need to swap these 2 cables over because we've got them in the wrong order. It's also important to note that each one of the group heads shut themselves off by themselves, so we know that the flow meters are correctly plugged in inside the machine. Okay, we've found a suitable place to mount the flow gateway. In this case it's under the counter where it's going to be out of harm's way, it's going to be dry, and if this was not a great spot for Wi-Fi, we also have an external antenna that we could replace the stubby antenna with and locate in a more suitable spot. We've taken the plug pack that came with the device and plugged it into a mains outlet with the USB cable plugged in. Of course that's switched on, and we're going to plug that into the flow gateway. Then we can remove the adhesive backing and affix it to the wall on a convenient location.